Hi, my artist. So today we're going to look at a style of architecture, which is a building, such as the one right here, and this is called a pagoda. So a pagoda is a style of building that you would see in Asia. There are quite a few in China and in Japan, and today we're looking at a Chinese pagoda. So when I said the word architecture earlier, what I was talking about is a building or a design for a building. So people that design buildings and build structures like this pagoda, they are architects and engineers. And even though those are careers that are math and science based, they also are very influenced by the arts. And you can see that in this building here. Okay, see how it's got the curved roof? All right, and it's got different tiers or levels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this up here is probably meant to be a lightning rod, okay? Because these buildings are so tall, they often get struck by lightning. So they have to have a lightning rod so that no one gets hurt around them, okay? So that's what we're going to draw today. And what you need is either markers or crowns, okay, whichever you prefer. I'm probably going to use my crowns just because if I mess up, they're a little bit easier to fix, okay? And I'm going to leave it to where we can see the pagoda on one side of the screen so we have something to go off of, okay? I did want to mention before we got started that there are some important things that you need to know about pagodas. So they were, like I said, used a lot in China and across Asia, but they also are very important to the imperial architecture. Okay, so that's like the rulers of China would use these buildings, and if you've watched Mulan, you might have seen some of this. It's true for China and Japan. And so that's why in China you would see a lot of the dragons on the imperial architecture, okay? So the rulers' buildings would a lot of times have dragons. So when you get done with yours, you can always add a dragon to the top. You could add a dragon flying over, okay? And the other thing is red was the common color, okay? Now, as we go along, we're going to throw in a few more art words for you, so make sure you're listening. So I'm going to go ahead and get a red crown to start out with. Actually, I'm going to get a green because I want to do my grass first, and then we'll move on to red. Okay. So what we're going to do to start with is our paper needs to be vertical, which means it's nice and tall. It's not laying flat or horizontally, nice and tall. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to do a line that goes across. That's going to be our line that our pagoda sets on, okay? It's going to be our grass line. It doesn't have to be straight. It can be a little curvy. And then what we're going to do from here is we are going to very lightly draw a line up the paper, okay? We're going to draw another line up the paper, and it needs to be almost the exact same height, okay? It's going to be our line for our pagoda. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to add our levels, okay? So again, we're still drawing very lightly. So I'm going to curve the edges. So there's one. And I'll go back and darken this up in just a minute in case you can't see it. There's one. Here's two. I'm adding the curved roof. 3, and last but not least, 4. Alright, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken up the bottom part of my line up to my first tier so you can see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my brown out. That's what I'm going to use for my roof. And I'm going to make a horizontal line over my roof line. So a horizontal line is just like the grass line. It goes across, okay? So that's what my tiered roof is, except it has the curlicue. So this part is horizontal. And that is very important in Chinese architecture. You see a lot of horizontal lines. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trace over all of my roof lines. So that they all show up really well. Alright, and from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add the triangle on top of my top tier. And then I could add the lightning rod that's sticking out. Alright, from here I'm going to do curved lines from the side down to the angles, okay? Because you can't see all of the roof line here because it goes to the next level. Alright, so curved lines. And then what I'm going to do is another horizontal line across, matching those up. Alright, so they kind of look like funny mustaches. Now from here I'm going to color in my roofs. We're almost done coloring in our roof lines. Alright, next what we have to do is we're going to use our red to go back over our vertical lines we made. So there's our two art words, horizontal and vertical. Alright, so our vertical lines right here. Alright, so there's our pagoda. And what you need to do now is you can go back and add doors. You could add windows. Okay, so decorate your pagodas. And then you are going to color them in. Alright, so I'm going to pretend that I have it all colored in, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what else you could do with your pagoda. Okay, you could go ahead and add a walkway coming out from the door. You could add grass or flowers or people walking around. You could even add a pond or a river. You could add your dragon, like we talked about, that you might see on the Emperor's Pagoda, or even one flying over. Okay, so you have lots of options on what you can do. So what I want you to do for the rest of our time together is spend some time coloring it in very nicely, creating, if you want a dragon or a pond or some trees, create what else you want around your pagoda, make it look really, really nice, and then please send me a picture or a video so I know how it turned out, okay? I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed it. And if you all need help with anything, please let me know. All right, I will see you next time. Bye, guys and girls.